Today's service comes to you from the UU Gateway Fellowship at La Palma Correctional Center in Eloy. The fellowship consists of about 12 inmates and 12 volunteers from our congregation who meet with them once a month. The inmates themselves meet once a week. We've been doing this since January 2012. We'll be bringing you the voices of these men in their writings. The Gateway Fellowship was started by Tom, who had been a UU before incarceration, and Jock, who became one in prison, through the UU Church of the larger fellowship. These two recruited a few like-minded others, and the group began meeting and using the monthly newsletter and study guides from Church of the larger fellowship. Then, since we were the nearest UU congregation, they wrote to our interim minister, Reverend Joy Atkinson, to see if we were interested in making contact with them. As it happened, that was about the time that our congregation started a Standing on the Side of Love initiative to support marginalized groups. This prison ministry under Reverend Joy's leadership was one of 3 we chose to focus on. 9 of us have been participating regularly since then, and the group has just recently increased to 12. When we visit, we meet at the church at 6:30 and carpool to Eloy. We have to go through a security procedure, take off our shoes and all metal items, then pass through a screening machine like those at the airport. Our driver's licenses are exchanged for clip-on badges. When we've all been screened and signed in, one of the chaplains escorts us to the chapel, which is actually just a large classroom. We are always welcomed enthusiastically. These men are all from California, so visits from family and friends are rare. We have become their link with the world outside. Our meetings last 2 hours and are usually a combination of a UU service and a discussion. Opening words are often original poems written by members or favorites from other sources. We've introduced joys and sorrows using little battery-powered candles, and the inmates seem to like it a lot. Paula usually leads a meditation. The members are eager to learn more about UUism, and the volunteers have given some sermons and presentations on UU topics. Several times we've had music performed by the inmates. Tom sends study questions out ahead of time based on the monthly theme from the CLF newsletter, and we break into small groups for discussion. There's never enough time for all we want to do. After sharing our thoughts and experiences with these UU brothers, we leave feeling inspired. The group of inmates is very diverse. It includes white, black, and Hispanic members, a couple of whom were born in Central America. One man is Native American, one is Vietnamese, one has a Filipino mother and a black Muslim father. Most of the inmates are young, although there are a few who are in their 50s, one of whom has been in prison for over 30 years. We've had visits from Buddhist, Wiccan, and Jewish inmates, as well as other prisoners who are just interested. Attendance has grown. In recent months, it's usually been between 20 and 25. These men are intelligent and talented. If we expected them to be somehow different, we haven't found that to be true. They seem just like anyone else. You will hear some of their writings, and you can see some of their artwork here. We wish we could have recorded some of their music. One man plays the harmonica and makes it sound like an orchestra. Another is an artist with the guitar. A couple of them write and perform their own rap music. Some of them are members of an interfaith choir within the prison that is so good they have literally moved us to tears. As I've read over their writings with our monthly theme in mind, I've asked myself, what do these inmates most desire? Of course, they desire to get out of prison, although some are a bit afraid of it too. But what do they desire while in prison? I've come up with a number of possibilities: acceptance, recognition, forgiveness, validation, redemption. As you listen to their words, see what you think.
The title of this poem is called Tea. I was steeped into the waters of the living. Here I remain to flavor them. What kind of flavor am I? That is not for me to taste. It is only when I am pulled out and others drink of my legacy that I shall know what kind of tea I was. Oh, my maker and maker of all, give me spiced honey and even orange and lemon peels, so when the taste is revealed and the waters are imbibed, everyone may be brought back intact and alive.
Jim Sauer is going to read a description by Diego. Diego is from Ecuador and he's part Indian. He's a born leader, he's a teacher, a writer, and an artist, and it's his drawings for the most part that you saw out there. Many, well, I said that. Jim is going to read this poem to introduce the prison experience.
A day in the life. A day in the life of this prison is like your day. We wake up, we roll out of bed. Imagine waking in your bathroom, but the door is locked from the outside, and another person not from your family is sleeping in the bunk bed above you. When is the last time you were in a bunk bed, if ever? And then you realize this is your bathroom, bedroom, living room, kitchen, and your interior workspace. So then, what do we do every day? How do we adjust to fences and locked gates and loss of freedom? How does the human spirit respond to the sudden removal of freedom? We are like snowflakes, each unique. Each responds individually and melts or rises or dissipates or disappears inside these walls. We adapt and we survive, and some even thrive and prosper. And between moments of quiet desperation, we breathe. And we communicate with our families and loved ones and wait for a letter or a visit. And maybe we get to talk to them on the sacred telephone, our royal connection to the outside world. Mostly we dream and work to change the dream into a freedom dream. Join us as we invite you to see and hear about how life is for a day in our life. Welcome and join us. We know you won't stay, but you'll know us. Help us dream our freedom. Like prayers, dreams are more auspicious collectively. The art and words of these men will paint and color our dreams for you.
Steve McGeady, and I'm going to read to you something that was written by Jock, the author of this reading. There's a Caucasian male in his 50s who's been in prison for 30 years. Think back where you were 30 years ago. It's 1983. It's quite a ways. While incarcerated, he's made it a point to educate himself about many different religious and political subjects. So the name of his reading is, What is Our Life About? Our wish, our goal, our desire for a genuine life is to see the truth of who we really are. That the nature of our beings is interconnectedness and love, not the illusion of a separate self to which our suffering clings. It is from this awareness that life can flow. And what is our life about? To learn to reside in whatever the present moment presents, to learn to attend all those things that block the flow of an open life, and to see them as the very way to awakening. All the building blocks, the labels, the holding back, the protections, all the fears, all that separates us from letting life be. And what is our life about? To turn away from the seeking comfort and from trying to avoid pain, to be eager to just be, no longer so willing to be caught in relentless monkey mind. Life is about awakening to the true self. No one special to be, nowhere to go. We're so much more than just this body, just this personal drama. As we cling to our suffering, we forsake the gratitude of living from who we really are. And when the veil of separation rises, life simply unfolds. No longer caught in self-centeredness, we can give ourselves to others unconditionally. Death is close. Don't hold back. Appreciate this laugh. Gasho.
This is A Rotten Onion. This poem is by Christopher, a quiet, serious man with light skin and long curly dark hair. He doesn't say much, but he has a penetrating mind. A rotten onion spouts because it knows. A white petal pulls itself to face the face of the sun and grows. A seed down in dirt, nose up and climbs. A green whisker on the ground, ripping through earth without a sound. Who hears without ears? Who grows without fears? Who stands up to time? A rotten onion spouts just fine.
This is Questions and Answers. It's written by Clifford. He's a serious young African American with decorative tattoos on his arms. He's very personable, thoughtful, and intelligent. Life starts off weird for some people. You ask a lot of questions. Some may even say you ask too many. They may say it in a nice way, or maybe even not so nice. You may gain friends with your inquisitiveness, or even push people away. How bad do you need those answers? Do you need them more than a laugh? Do you need them more than you need hugs? Or what about kisses? Would you cry for those answers? Would you sacrifice self-image? If you lost friends, found hate, and saw yourself far from forgiveness, would you use drugs or hang with thugs, all in the name of inquisitiveness? If your mom didn't speak and your dad said lots of nothings, but sent shoes and clothes with ribbons and bows and socks with lots of stuffing, if you experience pleasant people but seem to be deprived of the joy, peace, and happiness that appear to live within these lives, would you fight to know the truth, no matter the price required of you to pay? Or would you give in to the very answers, the ones you came to stay? Questions lead to answers. You could be asking the right ones, even if they lead you down a darker road with not so many funds. I'm down to ask those questions, and this is why I admire me and anyone else who refuses to melt, and I has the heart to be. Whoever it is that you are, no matter the scars or things that you needed to see. Some say it's been a long road. To me, it's just like yesterday. The only difference between now and then are the rays of color, where once lived shades of gray. The choice is to move or not to move, but no one is cursed to stay. So the hero is neither strong at heart nor with muscle and words to stay. But those who seek and find the truth are those who lose the way. How come her mom's so fun, or him and his dad so close? Why do they have so much, but you spend years on things to smoke? How is it that people hang themselves without even an inch of rope? We all have questions, but few are brave enough to pursue the answers. The dance floor is open to all, but few become great dancers.
I'm TJ Boothroyd, and as mentioned earlier, Diego is Native American, and this is a poem of his that gives us the flavor of that heritage. He looks Indian with his tan skin, hawk-like nose, and long gray hair. The poem is called For Fish Hawk. You begin where the earth starts, right there where the Pacific Ocean butts its head against rivers once choked with red salmon near Eureka Bay. North where the smell of sockeye is on your breath and in your strong Indian hands, where you pedal your bike through freedom, past the city to your home, free from a cell at last. As grandfather blesses you with your children again, who love you and bless you with their love, as you bless them and your mother with being alive and free. Your gray hair flows freely, blows in the cold wind as the river washes your beard and cleanses you, sanctifies and smudges you, envelops you with smoke, prayers and blessings, and removes the dirt and muck of 20 years of institutional death. Now, clean of alcohol, drugs, and colonialism, you once again offer sage, sweet grass, and cedar smoke to your ancestors in the Star Nation. As the grandfather stones crackle, hiss and sing in the sweat lodge. The smoke scatters, is carried into the trees that cover the shore, stands braced against the wind that blows off the Pacific, carries your voice like a flute song. A rattle rolls and gurgles as you sing and weep. I weep and sing too. You gather pony beads into your chapped and weathered hands, take up the needle and leather to make beautiful art. I smile and weep as I hear your letter read over the phone. My Yurok Indian brother Fishhawk from Northern California walks the shore gathering clams, songs, and poems, sits near the rustling river, sifts for songs, and washes his feet in the gravel. Again, braid our brotherhood like long gray strands.